There are three things that you need to prepare for as a person before you say you love somebody's child. Number one is what we call lobola. When I say prepare for lobola, I'm not talking about you having money to lobola somebody's child. Relationships are built, they don't just happen. Okay? All I'm saying is you need to know that there will be that period, there will be that time in your life. And what is lobola? Watch this now. This is where most of our African brothers are missing it. What is lobola? Lobola is actually your family getting to know, meet, introduce themselves to her family. So lobola is more of family thing where families are coming together not to just celebrate your love, but to know each other and build a relationship. That is lobola. Okay. Number two, you move from a lobola, you get to a wedding. What is a wedding? A wedding is now you calling your friends to come and celebrate what was discussed during lobola. Okay? Now, when the friends come and celebrate that, it's called a wedding day because it lasts for a day. But then again, there is something more important than a wedding day, than a lobola. It's called marriage. And that's the third thing. The biggest problem is we spend time preparing ourselves for lobola, either a wedding, but most people don't prepare for a marriage life. It's called marriage life because it's not a 1 day thing, it's not a 1 month thing, it's not a 1 year thing, it's a life thing. Okay? Now, but most relationships don't work, or rather, most marriages don't become because the problem is in here in the lobola process. As much as you are going to spend the rest of your life in marriage life with your partner, you need to start thinking for your partner now. What that means is if your partner decides, okay, I'm going to lobola you, then they get to your home and they tell your partner, we want 150,000. For God's sake, you know your partner cannot afford that. It then becomes your duty to go and speak to your parents to say, my man cannot afford the money, or your uncles. You have power. Remember, your man is not trying to marry your family here. Your man is trying to marry you here. And after lobola, it's going to be wedding. After wedding, it's going to be marriage. And that's when now you are all going to spend the rest. Imagine if he has to go through loans to enter into debts just to lobola you. That later on, the same debt that you're excited about, the same money that he paid for you, you were excited about, now catches up with you and delays everything in your marriage life. So you need to be very wise that even if your parents stands and say, you know what, we need 150,000, you stand your ground. Love your men enough. I'm telling you now, I know I'm saying things that probably you might not like. You are not trying to sell yourself, and you need to make it clear to. That's the problem we have. Listen to me. You are not a ticket to wealth. You are not a way out of poverty. So if your parents need such money, let them go and work for it. I am telling you, many African parents have destroyed good things because of their greediness. Most young couples today cannot cross to the other side. Why? Because African parents are selling their children. This is not some auction. This is us building a relationship. So, ladies, you need to be wise, okay? You need to be wise. You need to be wise. I understand that our parents are important, but we need to understand that they are old school. What that means is they are trapped in culture. And what culture is frozen success. What used to work then, which does not work now. Imagine right now losing somebody you love because your father needed 100 cows and your man has 2 cows. And you stand there with a big head like this. Like if he doesn't bring 100 cows, it means he doesn't love me enough. You can't buy love. Real love cannot be bought. You know you are in love when what you have matters than money. Of course, I'm not saying that, your parents should not decide. They did not take you to school for the men. They took you to school because it was their responsibility. You'll find African parents saying, she went to school. We did. It's your child, for God's sake. You were supposed to do that. Why did you bring this person into this world if you're not ready to take them to school? You didn't take them to school so that when I'm about to marry them, you're going to charge me and make me pay you back. That's crazy, people. So, ladies out there, be wise. If your man says, I can afford this, then you can arrange. Let me give you my testimony so that you guys are all sorted out. I believe Charisma's sister is watching here because she was there when it all began. When I met my wife, I didn't waste time, okay? I didn't waste time, of course. I just knew she was my wife. So I wanted to lobola her as soon as possible. Of course, we went there and they charged us a price. We negotiated, to be honest with you. And because I could not afford it, what I did was I paid it in pieces. I paid first time, the family met, went back, paid, the family, what. Then for the third time, that's when everything was done. So they were willing to come and say, look, okay, we understand. And I remember we used to talk about it. We used to talk about it to say, this is what we are going to do, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. So if she was not a wise woman, she would have said, no, be like Adam. When Eve found Adam, Adam had everything. Am I Adam? Am I the first man? Adam was spoiled. Yeah. Yeah. I know women, they misunderstand the life of Adam. Say, me, I want to find a man like Adam, having a garden, having everything. Adam did not start that garden from the scratch. They put him in the garden and say, work the garden. And if you can take any man right now and put him in a company that is worth billions and say, work, 70% of them, they might make it. It's all about mindset. And guess what? He had no choice, because if he didn't work the garden, he would not have ate. So we cannot say, yeah, like Adam. Adam, of course, I understand that. It's important for a man to have a vision.
It is very important. Even personally, this is actually, I don't think I've ever told my husband this, but at home, they actually set me down before they put a price on the lobola. They set me down, they asked me, this is how much we want to charge. Then I had to tell them, no, let's charge this much, let's go to this much, because I understood how much my husband or my partner at that time can go. So it's important. It's very important. Most families, they do it, but if they don't do, they haven't done it, or they are not planning to do it at home, it's very important for you to know how to speak for yourself, to speak for your future between you and your husband. Because, like my husband said, the marriage is for a lifetime. A wedding is for a day, just a day.
I mentioned something that has to do with lobola. Now, Lerato is saying she moved in with the boyfriend, who now, of course, she calls the husband.
Okay.
Because the husband did not have money. You understand? So she decided to move in. So she's kind of excited that I spoke about lobola and all of that. So I need to fix that quickly so that I help her and rescue her and rescue as many people as possible. Now, Lerato, let's start here. You are single until you are married. Until you are married, Lerato, you are single. I don't care, Lerato, if you both have a joint account. You are single. His mother calls you daughter-in-law. You are super single. You can kill anybody for him. You are stupid and single. You are offended by what I'm saying. Super single. So you are single until a man marries you. At the end of the day, it is a man's duty, man's job, responsibility, okay? To remember, Jacob had to work for 7 years in order for him to get his dream girl. And as a matter of fact, he got a wrong one. To an extent that he had to work another 7 years to get the right one. So all I'm trying to say is, it is in every man to fight with all that he has to be with the woman that he loves. And sometimes it might take time, but eventually it will happen. So deliver yourself and ask God to help you. Rescue yourself from playing a wifey role without a wifey title. Never give a man the honor of being a husband without him doing what husbands will have to do before they become husbands. You see, it doesn't matter if he has got $20. It doesn't matter if he has got $100. As long as he has not officially done what needs to be done according to your culture and how you do things, I think you need to really take that thing serious. And I'm not, you see, sometimes we cannot justify our partner's doings because at that moment it's the right thing to do. Sometimes we need to think for the future and stand our ground. You're a woman, you're not a sissy. So you are something to be valued, you are something to be worked for, fought for, and you're something that you're something that a man has to die for. Hence, Christ died for the church. So, husband, love your wives. Meaning, as Christ died, if it says you need to die, do that. So, all I'm trying to say is there is really nothing special about that. Okay? So, get your things right. And I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm trying to help you. And trust me, I know you might have done it because you are thinking maybe in the future he will probably do it. Trust me, he won't. He won't. Why will I pay for milk while the cow is already giving me milk and is staying in my house? And somebody tells me you need to pay for milk. I mean, I'm getting milk for free. So why will I pay for the milk?